Hi, my name is Megan. I am the author behind Conquer in Spite of. You can find the link to my blog right down there. Please feel free to click on it, but after you've watched this video. So at urgent care, they had told me if it feels like you have a fever or your joints feel warm, you should probably go to an emergency room and have a doctor check you out. But after my aunt's birthday family gathering event of some sort, it feels like my knees are warm. It feels like I have a fever, like I'm very hot. I didn't have anything to measure my temperature, so I couldn't tell for sure, but I did feel hotter than normal, and I could barely move either of my knees. I lived on a second floor apartment, and I mean, it was impossible to get down the stairs. So we get to the emergency room, and I tell them everything that's happened so far. You know, I cut my leg shaving, and all of a sudden my knee just starts to swell up. And they look at me like, you probably just twisted your knee, and I think you're being, over dramatic about all this. And they gave me this look like I was wasting their time a bit, but I was like, no, I did not twist my knee. Like, I know that for a fact. And now this other knee is the same size in like a few hours. That's like how long it took for this knee to get as swollen. And I was like I was freaking out. I was emotional, and I didn't feel good. And the lady on the phone made it sound, when I called the insurance card, she made it sound like I was about to die. And I was like, oh my god, what's wrong with me? So I get an IV in my arm, and I'm terrified of needles, so I was freaking out and crying, and at the time I was also arguing with my boyfriend because he had refused to take me. He decided he wanted to sleep, and I was upset about that, and my mom was upset about that, and she was just worrying like all mothers do, but I don't think it was helping me that much. So then the doctor comes in, and he's like, oh, we need to drain the fluid from your knee to test it. And I was like, oh my god, I had a cyst in my wrist earlier, a few months earlier, and they had stuck a needle in it and drained all the fluid out of that, and it was so painful. I really didn't want to do that with my knee, but they didn't really give me a choice. So my mom tells me it was this very large, long needle, but I didn't look because petrified of needles. I was crying, and it was the most excruciating pain I have ever been in. It felt like they were trying to tear my kneecap off, and it felt like he had taken the vial off after he had taken 16 cc's of fluid out of my knee, and it felt like he had left the vial on there, but I wasn't looking, so I couldn't tell. So I was really pissed at the doctor. I was like, how could he do that to me? Like, that's so mean. But that was just the pain from the needle being inside my knee. And they did the testing on it. It wasn't pseudo-gout. There was nothing else wrong with me or the blood samples they took. So we still had absolutely zero answers.